Welcome back. Of course, you can definitely get more of our top stories that's on our website. It's at channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. And do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. And don't forget, you can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. And we encourage you to use the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app. So if you have pictures or videos you would like to share with us, just tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then, of course, you can follow the instructions. All right, now let's move over to Kano State. Or before then, definitely, let's check out what we've been talking about in our lead story. Well, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has sentenced a former Director General of the Nigerian Maritime and Safety Agency in the Massa, Mr. Raymond Omashe, to 5 years in prison. Well, Justice Rita Ofile-Jumogobia convicted and sentenced him after finding him guilty on 24 out of 27 counts charged bordering on bid rigging and contract splitting. Now, the EFCC had charged the former Massa DG with 1.5 billion naira contract scam, and the Commission says the offence contravenes Section 58, subsection 4D of the Public Procurement Act of 2007. In arriving at her verdict, Justice Ajumogobia held that the EFCC prosecutor, Mr. Godwin Obla, had successfully proved the counts against the accused person. Now, hundreds of youth and civil servants in Kano State in northwest Nigeria are backing the federal government's decision to remove subsidy on premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol. Presenting their support letter to the state head of service for delivery to the president, leader of the youth, Usman Fage, says it's rather shameful that the Nigeria Labour Congress is calling for strike at a time when Nigerians are now celebrating success. The group believes subsidy removal will eventually end the sufferings of Nigerians.
The palliatives that will come as a result of this removal of fuel subsidy, which goes into the pockets of few individuals in Nigeria, is going to go a long way in giving jobs to the teeming youth of Kano State and Nigeria in general. We are aware that more than 2,000 teachers are going to be recruited by the federal government, and a lot of more than 10,000 are going to be recruited by the Nigerian police. And we have seen also advert, a lot of youth are going to be recruited into the custom and services. So the head of service, we are in support of this removal of subsidy.
Well, oil pipeline vandals, illegal miners, oil thieves, and all other related criminal perpetrators have been warned to stay away from Imo State or be prepared to face the full wrath of the law. The warning was handed down by the new commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Imo State, Mr. Stephen Law. In his maiden briefing with newsmen in Owerri, the Imo State capital, Mr. Law told journalists that the command is training and retraining its staff to meet up with the present-day challenges of oil pipe vandalism.
For partnering with some ministries, particularly the Ministry of Federal Mines and Steel Development, which is charged with the responsibility of exploiting solid minerals. In that regard too, we have extended our operation to the solid mineral sector to ensure that illegal mining does not again continue. I want to state here clearly that I will not relent on the fight against this sabotage. As a matter of urgency, I have reorganized our strategy on how to clamp down on these criminals, particularly with massive deployment to vulnerable areas, especially where oil installations are. I have, deployed more personnel, more operatives to mine these areas.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC, have been asked to complete ongoing construction work in the University of Port Harcourt in Rivers State. The university's vice-chancellor made this appeal while playing host to the acting managing director of the NDDC, Mrs. Ibim Seminitari. Mrs. Seminitari gave the assurance that the hostel project and others will be ready soon. The acting managing director of the NDDC, Mrs. Ibim Seminitari, is on a visit to the University of Port Harcourt in Rivers State to inspect work on its hostel project. Leading members of the university's senior staff to see the project, its vice-chancellor, Professor Ndoa Lale, appealed to the NDDC to complete and hand over the hostel to the school on time. He also asked for other assistance, especially in providing a convocation building and a standard bookshop for the university.
The University of Port Harcourt is over 40 years. I'm sure some of us who have gone to university, I'm sure the end is widely traveled. So the University of Port Harcourt is one of the smallest places to go. But if you've been there, you'll see a typical bookshop. It's part of what makes an institution a university. A typical bookshop where books are bought and kept by publishers and all that. As I speak with you, even though we have done over 40, that is not anything in semblance of a bookshop.
On her part, the acting boss of the NDDC, Mrs. Seminitari, insisted the project could still meet the Commission standard, but promised to look at other requests from the Vice-Chancellor.
Once we know in order of priority which ones should go first, and if we get that information by tomorrow, we'll see if it's still possible to include it. But what we have, if we meet our obligations, with minus 10 billion, it will be possible. So I'm sure that what we will take will be dependent on cost. We don't have a lot of money.
The authorities of the University of Port Harcourt believe strongly that once the hostel project is ready, some 800 students currently living off campus will move into the premises to study in a relaxed environment. Already, the Commission has handed over 7 of the completed prototype hostels, such as the University of Benin, Imo State University, and the University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt. Still to come on the program, it's off to Nasarawa State, where the All Progressives Congress APC begins its campaign as the state prepares for its by-election. Join us again.